Am I live? Hey, little nerds. Lisa Nix, it's time. Hi. So, good afternoon. The Catalyst raves. I'm glad you finally made it live. And I just want to say hello, everyone. I hope you guys had a good Thanksgiving. I can't see how many people are here. Where can I see?
66.
Okay, cool. Hold on. And there's the chat bubble. Okay. All right, cool. All right. Hey guys, it is Monday. Happy Monday. It is the worst Monday of the year, as the Monday after Thanksgiving in my books. But I wanted to pop on here and go live with you guys. I know it was super last minute, but the reason I wanted to go live was because we are back in stock with the Depuffer, and I wanted to have a little gift to my Canadians. Okay? Huh?
There's a few in the
There's a
chat.
few Canadians in the chat. Aya, Susan, Mustang Jackie, I see you guys. And so I had been pushing the team to make shipping to Canada available. And we are going to open shipping to Canada today until the end of day tomorrow. So you guys are going to have 36 hours to be able to purchase Pillow Talk Derm from Canada. It is very exciting that I was able to convince them to do this. We had to talk to the warehouse people, we had to talk to the distributing people, people who stock all the products, to make sure that they had the capacity to do it. We're doing it for 36 hours so that we can literally see how the process goes, see if there's any glitches, and make sure that people in Canada actually receive their products correctly. I didn't want to open it indefinitely because God forbid it wasn't smooth and the experience wasn't good. I wanted to make sure that you guys actually had a good experience purchasing it. So that is all set. So it is officially open. Canadians can now get Pillow Talk Derm for the next 36 hours. And then we're going to be closing it to make sure that we follow up and we make sure that it was right and it worked out correctly and that everybody was happy so that we can really make it a constant. So there's a lot of Canadians in this chat. I'm very excited. It's something that I had wanted from literally day one, but we didn't have the capacity or the bandwidth to make it happen. And I know it sounds easier said than done, that why can't you just ship, like can't you just like send, but it doesn't work that way. You have to have imports and taxes and all this stuff, so we have to make sure that everything was lined up. So that India Kamlesh Verma, India is next. Okay. Make sure to tell Ariel that India is next. Tiffany. But Kustaka Mabuti. So yeah, so this is why I was very, very excited. But I also wanted to coincide it with the restock of the Depuffer. This baby has been the bane of my existence because she was sold out and I really was trying to get it back in stock for everybody. But unfortunately, we couldn't make it happen before Thanksgiving and it had to happen today. So as an extra gift, I wanted to try to get Canada in there as well. So very excited to now have Canada in the Pillow Talk Derm world as well. Hey everyone from Switzerland, bonjour, ça va bien? Hello from Jordan, marhaba, Brooklyn in the house, la France peut-être, j'espère. I'm moving from Texas to Europe. I don't know what I'm going to do now that I won't be able to use your skincare. It has changed everything for me. Where in Europe are you moving to? This is Tag is moving from Texas to Europe. Maya, thank you so much. This sweater is a very old sweater. I don't know where I got it from. I think it was like a Bloomingdale collaboration. Uh, Madeline Thompson, I think. I don't know, but it's a very old one. So yeah, it's a very, very old sweater. People want this sweater. Maybe we'll do a Pillow Talk Derm one, but it's a very old sweater. So yeah, so wanted to see what you guys are up to. Hopefully you guys had a good Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys did not cry too much with your families. Yeah, I do speak Arabic. Merci pour les bonnes nouvelles. Another Canadian. Watch out. Prices for duties are reasonable. Go Canada. I am very excited that you think so. I was nervous because the prices for duties are there. It's very expensive to actually ship, and I was worried it was going to be too much for a lot of people. But if you guys are excited by it, I am too. This Pillow Talk Derm work for teenagers. I think you have to ask yourself, what is your teenager's biggest problem? You know, obviously, if it's a lot of discoloration, then I would say for sure, like, yeah, but why do they have so much discoloration is a question if they're prone to hyperpigmentation or whatnot. I think the flash mask is a little bit strong. It is a 15% glycolic acid mask. I'm talking about my flash mask. And so if your teenager has sensitive skin or whatnot, like I wouldn't want to go too strong on them. And this is still relatively strong. I think if they are prone to redness and puffiness, and especially with hormonal fluctuations, this is their best friend. This is also great if they have cuts or bruises or any sort of inflammation. The brand itself will never promote it as such, but Arnica has been used for years for inflammatory things. So this is actually a great one. I use it on my kids all the time when they hit themselves or they get bruising on their bodies. Don't forget to slap the table. Okay. I feel like, who's that person, Tiff, that I always make fun of? Ice cream so good.
Oh,
what is that stupid thing? It's like, yeah, I don't know. There's like that girl that's ice cream so good. I just felt like her right now. Slap the table.
I think you should show
Anyway,
they can get.
Yes, we will show them. Okay.
How to depuff their holiday.
You guys, how to depuff your holiday stress. I depuffed my holiday stress last night. I speak 4 languages. So let me talk about what you guys can get, because Tiffany's keeping me eye on the ball. Thank you for saving my skin. You're the only one who gave me good info and tools to use and understand my skin. De nada, de nada, de nada. Okay, so what can we get from Pillow Talk Derm? If you guys are here and you guys are able to purchase, Canada is now open to the world of Pillow Talk Derm, or Pillow Talk Derm is now open to the world of Canada. So you guys can purchase all of these products from Pillow Talk Derm, even if you are in Canada. And starting with the Depuffer, because this one is finally back in stock. This is my best friend. C'est mon meilleur ami pour tout le sel que j'ai mangé ce week-end. But basically, et pour tous les larmes que j'ai pleuré à cause de mes sœurs. I have 2 older sisters and we did get into sisterly fights. Although this time I did not cause the fights. I did not. I was actually the peacemaker because I'm the youngest. It was like they looked out of left field because normally I just do my own thing, but I tried to keep the peace. So this was a best friend of mine. So what I do is we turn it on. Do you guys see that arrow? We turn it on and then we squeeze. And I always then turn it off when I roll. Why do I do this? So that not too much comes out. And I'm going to show you guys how we can actually take the cap off once we're done. But I literally wake up and roll away all my sorrows and tears and sodium. That commercial that we did on Pillow Talk. I don't know if you guys follow Pillow Talk Derm on Instagram, but we make these fun little skits and commercials. And the last one we did was a play on Love Actually. And on the posters, we write to kind of like depuff all the extra sodium and tears from your family. So we thought it was really funny. But anyway, this is how I use the depuffer. I'm not going to put it on my upper eyelids because clearly I have makeup on my upper eyelids, and we're going to film a YouTube video after this. So we're not going to get that completely messed up. But I use this all over my face. I even do use it along my jawline, because sometimes I feel like I'm holding on to excess water right here. So it does help, just massaging it helps as well. And then I put it around my nose because I do get very red over here, and it helps with the redness. So I love it, absolutely love it. The other thing is, if you are not into rolling, which I totally get because I am personally not somebody who is a massive roller, but if you're not into rolling, you guys can line up the arrow. There's an arrow on the side right here. It costs a lot of money to try to make this a darker color, and then the product would be more expensive for you. So I did not make it a darker color, but look over here. You can pull it out. This is going to be a limited edition very soon because we're going to make these stuck onto the actual tube, so you cannot pull it out in the future. So if you're somebody who doesn't want to roll and just wants to use the serum right away on their face, you can literally just squeeze it out and not fuss with the roller. But when you put the roller back on, you always have to line up the arrows because that's how it locks. If you put the roller back on the opposite side, you may risk the head getting stuck in the cap when you take it off. Does that make sense? What's a super chat? No super chat today? I don't know what that means, but okay. My mom refuses to use retinol since she doesn't like serums. Is there any face cream with retinol? She has normal to dry. There's a lot of face creams with retinol in them, but I wouldn't be worried about whether or not it's a serum or a moisturizer. What she has to understand is the type of retinol that she's using and the actual percentage. Can you zoom the product on camera? What do you want me to zoom? Some people don't like to roll ponds. It's hard to say your name and say the word roll, but some people don't like to use the roller on their face and they just want to apply the product directly. So yeah. This is this. What treatment did you do for redness on the face? So I have bad rosacea in the sense that like it's more of a reactive rosacea where I get very red if I'm nervous or if I'm stressed. And so I have done in the past the pulse dye laser to my face to help with my redness. This definitely helps it temporarily, especially for like for a couple of days, I would say, because I've done the laser in the past. But if you have extensive redness, you probably do need to get a laser treatment if you're really trying to minimize it. But the depuffer has been clinically shown to reduce redness when used twice a day over the course of a month. The sad news is you have to keep using it to keep seeing effects, I would say. And the only gold standard is really a laser treatment. Okay. Oh my God, Nancy with a blue heart. Apps like Yuka. So I took my older sister to CVS yesterday with her 11-year-old daughter. Very cute. My niece, her name is Noor. She wanted to go and get a full skincare routine by me. And she literally has nothing on her skin. She's 11. It's like perfection. But she has this idea that Bubble is the best brand on earth. So I took her to CVS to build a skincare routine for her. And my sister, all of a sudden I hear like a cash register app, ding, 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 going off on her phone. And I look over to my sister and I'm like, what are you doing? And she goes, oh, I'm just checking the products on Yuka. I nearly passed out. I was like, Nadine, you cannot be one of those people using this app to check the rating of the skincare on the app. And she got very embarrassed. I got very embarrassed and I nearly fainted. And then I was like, we got to wrap this up. You got to wrap this up because I was going to short circuit at CVS. But I don't believe in apps like Yuka for rating skincare products because first of all, the demonization of ingredients is out of control. Second of all, we need preservatives in our skincare to make sure that we're not applying crap on our face. And most of the preservatives on there, like all the parabens, et cetera, are going to be carcinogenic and freak you out. Third of all, if you're living in a big city like Washington, D.C. or New York City, the air is more carcinogenic than the skincare you're using on your skin. So yeah, don't put too much weight on that.
So Cody wants to know about brightening the under eyes. What do we have for brightening?
Cody Whitaker. Sorry, please don't use the Yuka app. Don't come after me, Yuka. So for brightening the under eyes, well, this is where the Major Fade trio comes in, Cody. I personally, because I am prone to hereditary darkening under my eyes a little bit as well, I will use the Hyper Serum as an eye cream. And what I personally do is I'll take, after putting, did I finish this one, Tiff? Can I get another cartridge? Okay, so I finished this one. Can I get a fresh cartridge?
Yes, you can.
And then I will replace it. Did you take the top off?
Too.
Yeah. So this is a fresh cartridge. Okay. I refill it. I line it up over here. And then I will press down. And as you can see, it comes out relatively easily. And when I travel, I just lock it. But what I do is I'll put 4 dots of this on my face. And I'll always put like an extra dot on my finger and lightly underneath my eyes add the Hyper Serum to help brighten my under eyes. If your under eye darkness is due to discoloration and pigmentation. If your under eye darkness is due to vasculature and like redness, you could use the depuffer to help with that. It will help reduce the look of redness, but really it's going to be also Flonase or any sort of nasal spray, allergy medication, and the gold standard is always when it comes to redness, laser treatment. Okay. All right, Michelle, the depuffer would work great, I think. What works after eyelid surgery? I have swelling. Absolutely. If you had eyelid surgery, I would say wait the 2 to 4 weeks, just until the initial phase of healing is sort of over, and then you guys can knock yourselves out. You could actually probably use this beforehand. It has arnica. Surgeons recommend arnica all the time for wound healing. So you could probably use it. The biggest thing I would say post-surgical is make sure you're cleaning it really, really well, because the last thing I would want want is for you to reintroduce any sort of bacteria into a fresh incision. So if you are a surgical patient, maybe take the roller off or squeeze and put it on your hand and apply it with your finger, and let your hands be very clean, and clean the roller afterwards. So are there any plans for PTD to have refills in the future? So Anita De La Torre, I would love to have refills. I think refills make sense when it is subscription based. I think having refills on their own is like greenwashing a little bit. So I would want it to really make sense for the consumer, for the brand, for the environment. So we're looking at all of that right now. So hopefully that's going to be something that will be available, but it's something that we're working on behind the scenes. Do the serums and creams for the face have the same effect as eye creams and serums? I don't think you can generalize that. I think it depends what the serum is and what you're using it for. Serum and cream is like basically saying like, does the drink have the same effect as the other drink? Well, what is the drink? You know, is it an orange juice? Is it an apple juice? Is it a tomato juice? Like, it depends what the drink is. It depends what the serum is and what the cream is. If it is a basic hydrating serum versus a basic hydrating moisturizer, then that's one thing that you can compare apples to apples-ish, but you have to make sure you know what you're talking about in terms of ingredient stories and what is in the serum or the moisturizer. Can you please talk about hyperpigmentation? Best thing you found for brightening eye pigments, product names. Pillow Talk. Okay, hold on. You guys are all asking me about pigmentation. So for those of you who are new here, because I can't assume that everybody knows who I am, and I'm going to sound like a broken record for those of you who are not new here. I am a board certified dermatologist. I see patients every day of the week. I had bad discoloration on my face that came up even worse after my son was born in the form of melasma. Okay. I have not had a laser treatment in over a year on my face for any sort of discoloration. And I have been using this every single day since August 2021. I do have a retinol that I add to this. And after like a beach vacation or anything where I'm out in the heat, I may use hydroquinone for 1 or 2 or maximum 3 weeks afterwards to jumpstart that clearing process. But I'm not on hydroquinone long-term at all. So this is the major fade solution system. So all of you guys asking me about hyperpigmentation, under eyes, discoloration, you have to be on a routine that targets how you produce pigment, and you have to be on a routine consistently. Why is it important? And pigment is different than, for example, redness. Pigmentation, hyperpigmentation, sunspots, discoloration, the damage is under the surface of the skin. So even though I look good, if I put on a woods lamp, you guys would see that I look like the crypt keeper. All of these brown spots would appear. And don't get it, Tiffany, because I have sunscreen on today, so you're just going to see blackness on my face. So that is what pigment does. It creeps under the surface of the skin. You have to be addressing it every single day, unfortunately, forever, because the second you stop, it will start to emerge and appear. Things that trigger it, that make it appear worse: sun exposure, UV, a beach vacation, a suntan. Even self-tanners can sometimes pick up on some of those sunspots that you have, and you can appear actually more spotted, okay, after using self-tanners, which I would still recommend over the sun, but just FYI. So you need to be on a routine that is constantly targeting how you produce pigmentation. So the major fade system are 3 different products within the same family. One is an exfoliating mask, okay? So this has your glycolic and lactic acid, both of which have really been tried and trues for discoloration at high percentages. Plus, it's married to tranexamic acid, which is a prescription that we actually give in office for melasma. And OBGYNs have prescribed tranexamic acid for years for people who overbleed, but we put it in here topically to help with how you produce pigment, because it helps to calm your melanocyte down. Then the hyper serum, which is the pen, right, has actives like kojic acid, arbutin, licorice root, diglycosyl gallic acid, niacinamide to help calm inflammation, plus to help suppress how pigment is made in a melanocyte, in a pigment cell. And then the moisturizer is not a basic moisturizer. She's not a basic bitch. It's not like CeraVe, okay, moisturizer. This is a gel moisturizer with vitamin C plus ceramides and peptides in it to help minimize how pigment is transferred out of a cell. So you're tackling it through 3 different ways. I use this like 2 to 3 times a week at night only. I never exfoliate in the morning. The only time I've done it is before like a photo shoot because it does give a little smoother appearance. But the reality is I'll do it the night before and sleep with it overnight, which we don't recommend for everyone if you're sensitive, but I do that. And then I use this twice a day, 4 drops of this and half a pump of this on my face, followed by sunscreen. So that's how you can target discoloration. Is CeraVe Foaming Cleanser a good gentle cleanser while using tretinoin? It's a very, I don't know which, CeraVe has like a million cleansers, to be honest with you. And it just depends how dry your face is. If your face is very, very dry to begin with or irritated by tretinoin, you want to take a gentler cleanser, something that's also maybe hydrating. Do you think that 58-year-old skin is too late to try and recover? LOL. I know you say the skin has no age, and I just started your major fade system. I don't think it's fair to say that it's ever too late. My oldest patient is 88 years old. Okay. I think age is but a number, and I think it's never too late to start, and it's better late than never. That being said, I think expectations versus reality have to be adjusted somewhat. Somebody who is in their 30s with some light sunspots can see a much bigger dramatic effect than somebody who is in their late 60s with a million sunspots. But on the flip side, if you have more sunspots, any improvement is probably going to make you happier than somebody who has just one, where it's slightly lightening. So it just depends how you look at the glass half full or half empty. But to answer your question, no, it is never too late to start, but understand what it is you're trying to gain from your skincare and what the realistic expectations are from trying to gain from your skincare. Okay, I think Blessing, you need to go talk to your doctor who injected plasma, okay? Because I don't know what kind of plasma they injected or what they did, but you seem distressed, and I think you need to go talk to your doctor because they need to follow up with you. Okay, which ingredients should not be used under and above the eyelids? So above the eyelids, the skin texture is slightly different and you're more prone to irritations. I think you have to be very careful with anything like a retinol or a vitamin A above your eyelids because you guys can get irritated relatively easily. I think in terms of exfoliation, I would probably just avoid, because if you're exfoliating your upper eyelids and they get irritated, you will swell up and this will not help you. So I think you definitely, because you'll be more of like an irritation and you probably have to go on a steroid pack. So I would avoid putting any sort of harsh ingredients like any exfoliating acids or retinol on your upper eyelids. I do put the active seal all over my face, including my upper eyelids. It is a vitamin C ester. It's a derivative of vitamin C. I would not use ascorbic acid on my eyelids though, which is the active form of vitamin C. So that is something that, you have to know what you're using, and you also have to understand how your skin reacts. I've been using this for 2 years. I'm very, very comfortable with it. If you're someone who's extremely sensitive, it's not the first place I would test out is your upper eyelids. So I hope that helps clear that out. So yeah, those are the 3 products that you guys have now on Pillow Talk Derm. They're fully stocked, and this baby is finally back. It is an Allure Best of, I keep Best of Beauty. I keep saying Best of Winter. Maybe that's my own subconscious thinking, but it's a Best of Beauty winner. So it is a arnica serum that helps to depuff and reduce the look of redness that comes in a roller. Can I use hydroquinone with lactic acid? You can use hydroquinone with lactic acid. You can use hydroquinone with the flash mask. I think hydroquinone is a spicy little biatch of an ingredient that you need to make sure that you tolerate the hydroquinone on its own, completely on its own. So what I would do is first just use the hydroquinone for 1 or 2 nights in a row, 3 nights maybe even. If your skin is totally fine and you're not reactive to the hydroquinone, then you can marry it to the night that you exfoliate. It's totally fine. If you are reactive to the hydroquinone on its own, then I would definitely not marry it to any sort of exfoliating acid or retinol because it might further irritate your skin. Yeah. I use retinol and vitamin C. I want to induce azelaic acid and alpha-arbutin. Which one to start with? Well, I mean, alpha-arbutin and vitamin C can just go hand in hand together. You can just start using them automatically together. If you're using retinol already and you're not reactive, then you can probably easily add azelaic acid in the morning and in the evening. It's not going to be that big of a deal. Azelaic acid, for the most part, is a very, very gentle ingredient. I did a whole deep dive on it. You guys can watch it in a Let's Get Intimate video on YouTube. So I would recommend that you watch the azelaic acid deep dive that I've done. It's an ingredient that has been used for many years by dermatologists for people with rosacea, inflammatory issues on their skin. But azelaic acid is actually derived from a yeast. And interestingly, it actually helps to lighten and brighten the skin in that sense, because the yeast, right? If you think of tinea versicolor, it's a rash that occurs on the chest and in the back as these like white spots on the body. When they were able to isolate that yeast, they noticed that that's how azelaic acid was formed, right, from that isolate. And they noticed that it can also have brightening effects on the skin. Now, it's not going to whiten your skin the same way the rash does. It doesn't work that way, but it will help to calm how pigment is made. So if you're somebody who's prone to hyperpigmentation or melasma, it's important to have it in there. But it also helps with people who have active acne to minimize the look of any sort of post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation where your body might be overproducing pigment and you're looking spotty in the process. So it's an easy one to add on as well. Cacava, should we put sunscreen on your eyelids? I think if you're able to tolerate it, sure, why not? I am personally somebody who cannot tolerate a lot of the sunscreens that are made up of like chemical, quote unquote, filters, like avobenzone, oxybenzone. I get very, very irritated eyes. And so I cannot tolerate them. But when I use a mineral sunscreen, for the most part, not all mineral sunscreens, but for the most part, I can tolerate it on my eyelids and I'm fine. I think Color Science has an eye stick or an eye cream with SPF, and it's a mineral sunscreen as well. I think Supergoop might have an eye cream as well with SPF.
Dion Batista wants to know if they can use the flash mask after sal acid or benzoyl peroxide.
Okay, so Dion Batista. So if you're using salicylic acid or benzoyl peroxide wash, can you use the flash mask after? I would be a little bit careful. First of all, you're double dipping with all of your AHA and BHAs. I don't know how often you're using the salicylic acid wash and how you're using it, because if you're using it correctly, you're going to be letting it sit on your face. And what is the percent of the salicylic acid wash? Is it 0.5%? Is it 2%? So there's a lot of different questions there. I think with benzoyl peroxide, I would probably not use it on the same night because you don't want to get too irritated by it. So I would reserve the benzoyl peroxide for twice a week or so. And I save benzoyl peroxide for the shower. And I would not use it on the same nights that I use the flash mask. So I would just be, conscious and thoughtful about how much you're adding actives and exfoliating your skin, because there's nothing worse than overdoing it. Okay. You're using Neutrogena, so it's probably the 2% orange one. So I would just be careful that you're doing it and your skin is tolerating it, but you're actually doing it correctly. If the reason for you wanting to use the flash mask and Neutrogena is because you're trying to get the brightening effects, I would go for the serum and the moisturizer first and keep the Neutrogena, because Neutrogena, the salicylic acid, is better geared towards people with oily skin. If your skin is not oily, then maybe skip the Neutrogena and use the flash mask instead. Okay. Supergoop has a great primer for the eyes. Greetings from the Netherlands. I hope my products will come to the UK. That's the next frontier. Today, though, Canada has access to Pillow Talk Derm for 36 hours only, because we are testing out the waters, or I guess the land, because it's traveling by land, not water, to Canada. But we're testing it out to see if we can actually deliver, no pun intended, without any issues. And that customers in Canada nerds in Canada rather, because you guys are not customers, you guys are actually nerds in my book, but nerds in Canada can get the product and be happy with the whole experience without any issues or delays. Okay, lip hyperpigmentation can be due to many different things, but if you have one dark spot, go see a dermatologist. Make sure it's not something dangerous. People get moles on their mucosal membranes all the time. So I actually have one on my inner eyelid. One of them, is it here or here? There's a very faint one on one of my inner eyelids. But you guys should make sure that you are getting checked and that you're seeing a dermatologist if it's changing or getting bigger. Now, some people do get a lot of little freckles on their mouth, and that's just part of their DNA. Other people might have a genetic disorder where all of a sudden it appears, and not to freak you out or anything. But again, go see your dermatologist to make sure that you are okay. I need to write a book. Let's first survive the day. Let's first survive the day. Tiffany, go take an English writing class and help me out, man. Okay. But hopefully one day it's, many psychics have told me, and I do see psychics for fun, but they have told me I'm going to write a book, which I thought was weird. So maybe.
Do the nerds want a book?
The nerds, I think, want a book, but dudes, like, man, I gotta raise 2 kids. I gotta see patients. I gotta do lives. I gotta create TikToks. I gotta create new products. I'm excited.
So on that note, I think we should
The nerds need a damn book. Okay.
I think we should ask the nerds what they want to see here on YouTube and give them a teaser as to what's coming.
We want a book. Okay. All right. You seem so happy in your element. Good for you. Thank you, E. I am very happy. I think happiness is a state of mind. If you knew all of my problems, you'd think I am delusional for being this happy. But it is a state of mind. And I will say that you guys have been really one of my biggest sources of support that have really been a source of happiness for me as well. So thank you. I really do have to say thank you to all of you guys. What do you guys want to see on YouTube is something I do want to ask you about. I do want to know what you guys are more interested on for YouTube. I try to keep it like a mix of many different topics where we cover deep dive ingredient stories, but sometimes I get bored reviewing that because I've already done a deep dive and it's not like much changes on that topic. We talk about medical issues, we talk about cosmetic procedures, we talk about roundups. I think roundups are always fun because there's always newness in products and stuff on the market. And it's all based on experience and using it. So it takes a little bit of time to create the roundups because I actually do have to try to use the products for a while to actually give you guys my honest opinion about them. But I'm curious, do sun damage reversal? That could be interesting. Cheaper alternative to Kate Somerville. I don't know how the hell I made that one go viral. That was just kind of a fluke.
Something might be coming on
but something might be coming on that on the 9th, January 9th. Is that when we're doing it? Oh, okay. December 9th, sulfur. I forgot we wrote a little. Me and Tiffany are trying to be more organized about what we record next. We usually do it week by week, but we're trying to be a bit more organized.
You should tell the nerds what's coming this weekend.
This weekend is a 20s skincare routine. And so that is going to be an interesting one. You guys have a lot of good questions. Wow. Okay. So collagen powder, FYI, I don't fully believe in them. I think there might be some interesting truth to it, but I'm just not that convinced by the studies because a lot of them are funded by the companies themselves. And I would like to see a real independent study reviewing collagen powders, but not all collagen powders are created equal. So I think it's a very hard one to measure. I have just, as my own little test, been trying to drink collagen powders. I haven't been good at it. I tried to do it for the few weeks and I probably did it like less than half of the time. I'm going to try to do it again till the end of the month. I don't think I've seen like a massive difference in my skin, to be honest, but I haven't been the best at sticking to it. And they're expensive. Like they're really expensive that I can't justify the cost of it to other people. So I don't think you should waste your money yet on collagen powders.
A lot of new nerds in the chat. So
yeah.
You should tell them what's happening today.
So a lot of new nerds. So new nerds in the chat. Thank you for all the amazing knowledge you've acquired. You're very welcome. New nerds in the chat. I am a dermatologist among everything else. I don't know other titles that I carry at the moment. I'm currently not writing a book. I have videos every Saturday morning for you guys on YouTube where you guys can learn on how to help yourselves. And my biggest mission, my biggest goal is to try to help people beyond the walls of my office. I can only see so much in my office. And my biggest goal is to truly empower you so that you are empowered to help yourself while cutting through all the noise and cutting through all the bullshit. So you don't have this fear of missing out on skincare and your paycheck goes because you spent it all on products that are bullshit and useless. That is truly what I try to do and what I aim to do. And in my videos, I do give roundups of products, not to give you guys a fear of missing out that you need to purchase all of this, but that so you have a lay of the land, so you have different price points, so you have different things that you know you can work within, so you can really try to help yourself, okay? That is my goal. Personally, I started a brand called Pillow Talk Derm, which is basically a spin-off from the Instagram series I started on Instagram and now YouTube. But I started with 4 products and I've kept it tight on purpose because I really wanted to hone in on the messaging of focus first on your biggest problem. As a cosmetic dermatologist, the biggest problem that I see, okay, when patients come in wanting to spend thousands of dollars on Botox and fillers, and I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. Before you spend thousands of dollars, which I will happily take, right? We first have to address the bigger elephant in the room. And the bigger elephant in the room is the color of your skin. Because more often than not, that discoloration makes a person look ruddy, makes a person look disheveled, makes a person look worn out. And I say this with love, and I'm not saying this to give that person an insecurity, because I then focus on their skincare routine. And then I tell them, be militant about your skincare routine for 2 or 3 months, and then come back to me and let's see if we do a laser treatment or not. You might be really happy. And that's sort of how I decided to branch from the office into the skincare world. And that's how the Major Fade system was born. I also had melasma. This is not a treatment for melasma, but when you have a condition like melasma, you have to be on over-the-counter skincare products every single day targeting pigmentation, because when your melasma wakes up, you don't want it to wake up with a big vengeance. You want to try to suppress it every single day a little bit as much as possible. The only thing that will treat your melasma, though, is probably prescription hydroquinone or oral tranexamic acid, or a combination. But that's how this was started, okay? This is how Major Fade was started. It's to target discoloration in 3 steps that are complementary to one another. They are not redundant products. And then the Depuffer was born. I created it at the same time as Major Fade. I actually created it before Major Fade, but it took more time because I wanted more tests and studies on this. The Depuffer was born straight out of my practice because I wanted people to have something they can use post-procedurally to minimize inflammation and swelling, especially if they had Sculptra injections done. So it can help massage that Sculptra in while getting that fluid moving so they don't look like puffer fishes. And this is how the Depuffer was born. It is an arnica-based serum that helps to depuff and reduce the look of redness. The serum itself helps to depuff, not just the roller. The roller is a complementary mechanism of delivery of the serum, but the serum helps to depuff and has been clinically proven to reduce the look of redness when used twice a day over the course of a month. So this is what is available. Is that a good background? I tried to give you guys a quick overview of who I am. This is finally back in stock. It's been out of stock for a few weeks because of you nerds loving it. So we finally got it back in stock. And as a surprise, I wanted to open today to Canada as well. I only ship in the US because I am a there's actually a team of 8 now in Pillow Talk Derm, but I'm a small brand. I am self-funded. I have no investors. And so I want to make sure that everything is done high touch and everything is done with care. And so I want to make sure that if we're going to open to Canada, we can really deliver to Canada in a really nice and seamless way where the nerd in Canada who's receiving the product has a great experience. So that is why we are opening it to Canada for 36 hours only. Hopefully this will become the norm in the new year. And then we go across the ocean to Europe and maybe Australia. And maybe India, and maybe the Middle East. Honestly, hopefully all over the world. So that would be a lot of fun because then we can get out of the office and travel, Tiff. But anyway, this is what is available. Yes, I've seen you use moisturizing spray. Do you use a toner? I use a hydrating spray. It's not a moisturizing spray. And I mix it. I do my own glycerin mist that I use. And I use this when it gets wintertime because it's dry AF with the heaters in buildings. Or if I travel somewhere like into the mountain area, I use it underneath a serum and a moisturizer to really help hold on to hydration. I have put the SK2 essence in a misting thing as well because I'm trying to get the biggest bang out of my precious buck that I spend on SK2. So I put it in a misting spray to try to make sure I'm getting the biggest bang out of my buck when it goes on my face, and I'm not going to be wasting any drop this way or on a cotton pad. So yes. What makeups do I suggest? Just purchase. Thank you very much. This PRP helped you set idea. Okay, how to come off? I don't know what that question is. Okay, guys, what are we doing next? Have I been on for 38 minutes? No. Wow. Okay. Do you guys have any questions? Tiffany, why'd you go silent?
No.
Oh, we have to end? Okay, we have to wrap it up. Tiffany says we have to wrap it up. I don't keep track of time, and I guess I have another meeting coming up. My makeup is on point. Thank you very much. Okay. Why are Pillow Talk Derm products on the costlier side? Lalita Singh, we will answer this question and I will end this question. If you knew how much it cost me to make them, most brands would have made it double the price. Okay. They are not cheap to make. They are actually loaded in actives, and the actives that are loaded in these products are not there for marketing claims. A lot of brands sprinkle actives in so they could say that they have the actives in their products, but they're marketing claims. These are not that. They have been formulated specifically for actually the formulation was the longest process, where we had to sit down and formulate and reformulate and reformulate and reformulate to marry those actives at high levels together to make sure that they stay stable, to make sure that they stand the test of time, to then be clinically studied. So that is why they are a little bit on the pricier side. But if you were really part of the inner workings of the team, you would ask yourself, why did you actually price them higher? So that is the answer for the pricing. Also, we are not a brand that has the backing of millions of dollars from investors. We're not an incubator brand. So like incubator brands are brands that are started by these larger companies that want to create something, blow it up and sell it off. And they really just try to sell you the cheapest products. I am not that. I personally have set my own money aside, and these are my blood, sweat, and tears that I'm putting into this brand. So yeah, that is why they're slightly on the pricier side, because I'm not selling you bullshit hopes and dreams. Okay.
Wonderful notes to end.
Okay. Tiffany's like, all right, moving on. That is that. You guys will always get an honest answer from me. And I hope to God you enjoyed this live. I hope you're welcome, Lolita. I hope you guys got some clarification. I hope you guys are excited. Canada in the house. I'm going to go eat some pancakes and maple syrup, not the nasty pancake syrup that's not real maple syrup. And I hope you guys enjoyed your Thanksgiving and your Monday afternoon. And I will see you guys this Saturday when we talk about skincare for 20s and how to make the best of your routine when you're still young and a fetus. So hopefully you can save yourself thousands of dollars on procedures down the road. All right. I will see you guys Saturday. Adieu. Adios. Ciao. Ma saleme.